Okay, let's get started.
Hello everyone, I am Srinivasan Narayan. I am the co-founder and CEO of the Good Meetings platform. And today we are here to discuss something really exciting, something that is maybe in the moment, as well as something that is going to shape the future. ChatGPT for sales. Two important keywords here, which kind of, I would say, influence and define the life of anyone who's basically, you know, part of any revenue generating function, ChatGPT and sales. Today in this session, I'm also joined by my co-founder and CTO Alok. Hi Alok.
Hey, hi Shrini. Hi everyone. And this is the hottest topic of the season. And I am the co-founder and CTO of Good Meetings, Alok. We'll be talking about how we can make sales more interesting using a lot of the AI that has come, especially ChatGPT.
Yeah, so the whole idea today is to kind of give you not just a sneak peek, but actually teach you on on a how you can get your hands dirty by using ChatGPT for various sales activities and improve your productivity and your efficiency. Not just that, that's the first half of the session. The second half of the session will cover ways in which you can do it at scale, right? Ways in which you can improve your productivity, your team's productivity, your efficiency, your team's efficiency, ways in which you can actually get various levels of insights from a multitude of sources, including sales calls. So without further ado, let's jump into the business end of things. First things first, we all know that in every company there are only two roles, like either you're building or you're selling. And while sales should become the topmost priority for any organization, you ask any sales rep, any sales manager, any sales leader, they may have their ways of selling a product, they may have the different ways of how sales should happen, but one thing that unites all of them is they do end up spending a lot of time doing irrelevant stuff. According to a study by Salesforce that was done very recently, almost 30% of the time of a sales professional is spent in doing mundane tasks full of drudgery, which basically not only bogs that person down, but also in a way pulls the entire organization down. And automating this is where there is a gold mine, right? Easily you can actually kind of automate 70 to 80% of these tasks, thereby relieving you know each person by over 20% of his or her time that can be used to do something more productive for the organization. Now how do you do it? Both at a basic level, at an individual level, and also at scale is something that we are going to cover today. Let's begin. Over to you, Alok.
As I said in the beginning, this is the flavor of the season. We have essentially all the processes which are conversation driven getting automated using AI. So we call this conversational action. What it means is you do a conversation and there is certain action that gets executed in the backend, right? Now, today we'll build that backend without knowing any technology. We can use ChatGPT, which is plain simple English, and we can use it to our advantage. We can essentially look at call summaries and action items. We can audit the calls at scale, and we can even automate some of the manual drudgery, as Srini was pointing out, which is like updating your CRM and so on. So you'll be receiving all the prompts right after the webinar. However, today live, I will walk you through how to do a few of these in ChatGPT. So I can talk about 4 use cases today. So essentially, we are going to look at how ChatGPT can be used for some of these use cases. So let me just share my screen and we can quickly start with the very obvious. we can go to the familiar ChatGPT interface. This is, I hope everyone can see my screen now. It should come up in a few seconds. So today we will use ChatGPT Pro. Right now, uh, I I am already on the $20 plan, so that is the only thing you need, the ChatGPT Plus plan. Sorry, and you will need a free account with Zapier. So what is Zapier? Zapier is essentially doing all the pipelining where it tunnels entire uh, entire conversations and converts it into actions. So what do I mean by that? Let me quickly show you what Zapier does. So I have signed up for a free account on Zapier.com. As you can see, they have released this AI actions feature where I can create actions. Now let's try to create a new action. I have created some of these. However, let's start from scratch. So I can search across so many tools. Like for example, I can import a recording from Zoom and I can download it and transcribe it. I can even get recordings from OneDrive. So for the first example, today we will set up Gmail. So we will use ChatGPT to actually send an email. So how do we do that? I will give this permission of sending an email to ChatGPT through Zapier. Zapier is kind of the bridge between ChatGPT and my Gmail account. Now, I have already connected my Gmail account. You can click manage accounts to do this, and you can even connect multiple accounts. There are a bunch of fields that it has, which it expects us to fill. Obviously, many of these will be filled automatically. For example, you can have AI guess a value for the to field, right? So that you don't have to do it. Even you know, the from is obviously your own ID because that's what you have connected to. And wherever there are dynamic fields, we will just change it to have AI guess a value for this field. That's about it. You can enable the action. So as you saw, we just created this new action showing you two because I had created one earlier. So let's go back to ChatGPT. What do I need to do in ChatGPT now? I need to click on Explore GPTs, which all of you would have access to. Even in the free account, you can use the GPTs. However, if you have the Plus account, you will get this extra button called Create so that you can create your own GPT. So we'll go ahead and create our own GPT right now. So how do we do that? We can say that okay, let this do the heavy lifting of sending an email. So I can type, you know, this GPT will draft email for the client to be sent after the meeting using Zapier. So that's the objective of this. And as soon as I enter that, it starts generating kind of the definition of this GPT. And voila, we are done. It actually created everything. As you can see, it created all these instructions from scratch, created this, and I can even call it, Gmail sender, which essentially drafts a very good email for me. And it is right after the meeting. There is a few capabilities that we want to add so that it's not just giving me answers, it's actually sending an email. How do we build that bridge to Zapier? So the answer is right here. Create a new action. We'll click on create a new action, import a schema. So schema is essentially a definition. You don't need to worry about it as of now. This is just a URL that Zapier provides us. And if you want to learn more about it, there is a entire documentation, and I can share it after this webinar. So this is the URL that is special. That's the only thing we need to copy paste into ChatGPT. So let's do that. I have gotten this URL, clicked import. So we have got all the Zapier import stuff. There's nothing for you to do here. Let's go back. We just need to add that URL. And very surely it has added it as an action. We don't need any of these capabilities. We just need to make sure that Zapier is working. I can even choose to use DALI to create an icon for my GPT so that I can identify it versus all the other GPTs which I might have built. If it can't generate it, we can even upload our own photo, which is like the logo of Gmail or something. Awesome. I like this icon. Let's click on create to get started. So now you can say what you want to do with it. You can even publish it to their store. But since it's connected to my Gmail account, I'll just use it for me. We are done. So now we can upload a transcript, or we can say draft an email in a certain way. So to make this more interesting, I have got a transcript of a real call, which I will upload here. It's recorded using a tool called Goodmeetings, which we have built as well. So we use that every day for transcribing all our meetings. So now it's just a plain text file which has all the transcripts, and I can just type the prompt. So this is a special prompt, and this prompt says that, please send me a draft email for the client, right? And send it to hello. So let me go ahead and add it. This is what it has drafted, and essentially this meeting was about security, and it has actually touched upon all the takeaways that I had in this meeting and everything that we wanted to do. Of course, I want this email to be sent from my name. This is looking very bland. Please change it to send to Srinivasan. Let's say Srinivasan is the client, and the signature should be from Alok Mishra of Goodmeetings. It should change the draft. Let's see how it does that. Yeah, slowly but surely, it has started writing all that it can. Uh, One thing I want to also talk about, that you can use any model. I am using GPT-4o in this case. It can be any model. Actually. Writing an email is something which which is which is very simple. So we say we are good. Please send it. You can write actually anything. However, our Gmail setting is missing something. It is missing a connection to Gmail. Let's set up Zapier. So it wants to talk to Zapier. Now I will I'll click on talk to Zapier, and you can even see what it did under the hood. It says, okay, you need to connect to this thing, and you need to set up Zapier so that the connection is complete. So since this is the first time I'm using this, I should I should connect my Zapier account to Good Meetings, to
Sakshi
ChatGPT.
has a question. She's asking if Zapier is free. I put her question on the screen.
Yeah, it is a free tool for AI actions. It has a paid version. In fact, Zapier is very versatile. You can use it for your own automations. In fact, you can set up cron jobs or schedule tasks as well. However, today what we are trying to do is connect it with my email. So let me go to follow up email sender. That's my go to GPT, which I have created. So who should receive the email? Let me say Alok at Goodmeetings earlier. Send it to send a follow draft email to Alok at Goodmeetings. Yeah, it will be a formal email. Yeah. So at this point, I can upload my transcript. We can summarize this meeting. Please bear with me as we are looking at sending this email. Send this. So since we are doing it live, it does take some time. But once connected, it should be able to take you through all the steps to get the email sent. Okay, it looks like we got the email, and here you can see the status as well. The follow-up email has been sent. You can review the email's status here.
Alok, I think there are a couple of questions. One is,
Sure.
can this be done in ChatGPT free version?
Sai Kumar, yeah.
Yeah. So the ChatGPT free version lets you use GPTs. So what it means is, let's say I connect ChatGPT free version. I can go back here, show you all the GPTs. I can search for it. For example, we can publish follow-up sender, right? Let's say I publish this to the GPT store, then another free user can use it. However, you need to be a paid user to publish it, and in order to click this create button. So in the free version, it's not really possible. But what I can suggest is, if you really want to, try this out, try a $20 plan of ChatGPT for a month. You can create as many GPTs as you want, connect it to Zapier, and after that you can, after that you have published it, so you can start using these GPTs. Like, you can just directly start chat with these GPTs, and it will work just like your own GPTs. However, I highly recommend taking the $20 plan. We are on this plan, and it's actually very beneficial. This is used more than our email service, even though we pay more than that for the email. So that is something I would definitely recommend. Coming back to Zapier, is there any other
We have a
question?
few questions. You can just quickly answer them and move on.
Yeah.
Can you see the question on the screen?
Are you using paid or free version of Zapier? Yeah, this is from Varun. So we are using a free version of Zapier, Varun. You don't need to pay for AI actions. However, there are uh, the number of limits that Gmail sets for you. It is as good as, I think, around 500 emails if you are using Google Workspace. However, you won't be sending that many emails because you need to do 500 meetings in a day, and that is 500 per day. If you want to send more, what I would recommend is using something called SendGrid or MailChimp, and it's very easy to do that. If you have a high volume to send, you can use SendGrid. In fact, this is a very good hack. You can use SendGrid to use an Excel sheet, and I can connect my SendGrid account. I have a SendGrid account. It will obviously start asking me all the credentials and API keys from SendGrid, and SendGrid is a paid service. However, Gmail is free, so that's why I recommend using Gmail for your own personal emails that you are sending to your clients. It will come from your own, like Vivash at company.com or Varun at company.com or Alok at Goodmeetings.com. So it essentially gives that branding of your own thing, and you can review everything in your own sent email. So, for example, let me share my Gmail. This is the email that we automatically sent a few minutes back, and it looks very personalized. It has come from my own ID. I have my own photo, and this mail is more likely to get me a reply than an email from SendGrid, which is probably from a different domain, unless you have set it with your own website. So I hope that answers some of the questions.
Yeah, so this question is also answered, I guess. Is there a limit to the number of emails you can send? It was answered.
Yes. So
Okay, this is another
can
question.
I, can I create a dashboard where I can see the emails and statuses and sequences? Yes. So you don't need to create those dashboards. They are available in Zapier. So for example, this is the dashboard that shows all the run results, when it was sent, and whether it's read or unread, whatever labels are there. So this is what I just got from the email that I sent right now. So if I want to see all the logs, they are available in Zapier. Zapier action logs. I can just use the audit logs and directly directly look at wherever a certain thing was pushed or
Okay,
was.
just one more and then we'll move.
Can this work with Outlook? Absolutely, I can assure you. Because Zapier supports some 7,000 plus. It's crazy number of applications they support. Let's check right away. Outlook should be there. Yeah. So you have Microsoft Outlook send an email. When I click on that, it will ask me to connect my Outlook account. Similarly, you can use thousands of apps without bothering about setting up any of the backend, the API integrations, and whatnot. I mean, if you do it through a developer, it will easily cost you money, upwards of upwards of a few $1,000 just to set up one integration, right? And this is available for free. Uh, all you have to make sure is use ChatGPT and the plus account. So
Okay,
even actions is free.
okay, that's it for the questions. Let's continue.
Sure. So let me go back. Uh, let's explore another use case, which is I want to talk about whether a call was a good call or not, whether I want to get some coaching from it. If I want to get a coaching, how do I do it? So let me take the same meeting transcript which I just used. I have uploaded it again, and this time I'll use a prompt which will help me learn what went wrong in this call, right? So I say that, okay, can you give me a sale probability score and also tell me how I can improve, right? And I have added some boundary condition. Please don't add info from any other call because I use this very frequently. So this assigned a very good score for my meeting, and it seems there are some coaching areas which I think I did a mistake. For example, I did not have a time commitment. There was no next step, so definitely you should do that. I know it's very silly sounding because this is a sample call. However, in your actual calls, you will find it more personalized to your own call, and this data will be more tuned to what you are looking for. And this also gives a reason on why it gave that 75 out of 100 score. Why not 40 or why not 100, right? So since there was no final decision made, it cut some points, and you can score your meetings every week and see how you're improving. So this is a self-coaching kind of use case. If you want to automate it across your teams, you will probably have to use Zapier automations or tools which we'll talk about at the end. So we'll do that towards the end. Let me just walk you through another use case, which is CRM automation. So we use Salesforce. Salesforce is a CRM that helps you keep all your notes in case you're not aware of Salesforce. It is really one of the pioneers in SaaS industry. And now these are some of the rules that I have put to push data into Salesforce. So I just say that, okay, if I have notes, please help me push it into the CRM, right? So let's, without further ado, start using meeting notes. So let me say that summarize these meeting action items for Salesforce. It says, okay, tell me what do you want to summarize. We go back to the same meeting just for the sake of clarity. I'll say summarize this one. And yeah, it talks about what exactly happened in this meeting and the key action items and stuff. Hopefully, I should be able to use this data in my CRM. Now, if I want to push it to CRM, what do I need to do? I generally need to go to Salesforce. I need to search for this particular account, and I need to go to notes, create a new note, start typing down the notes. Uh, but here I just have this one line, summarize this, and would you like me to push this into Salesforce as a note? Yes. And that's when it does its magic. It starts connecting with Zapier. Let me allow it. You have to do this every time so that you don't have any unintended actions done by a ChatGPT, which is a good thing, I feel. So I'm just showing you the Salesforce console, which has this particular client, and I will hopefully start getting the action right here. And how does it work? Let me go back to the instructions on how to set up this thing. So we can we can go to GPT actions. This is this is what I have created for Salesforce. I've connected my Salesforce account and have AI guess all the fields, most of the fields. So it looks like I can also set what the parent field should be. You can look at so many other options which they have and not have some of these fields. So this is very important to understand that if you set a constant field here, then in runtime, it will not ask you. It will directly start pushing the data. So it will not ask you whether it needs to push into contacts. So some of the things you can set in advance, but that sets the tone for how you want to move with this, right? So coming back to our actions, it seems the summary was pushed and there is a Salesforce execution note. This is what it did. It gave a note title. That's nice, meeting summary. And let me go to my Salesforce account. So this is created, and as expected, we have the we have the notes, which is what we expected, and it just happened without me opening a Salesforce create note icon, and I can also look at the logs like I looked at earlier. So it shows exactly what it pushed, when it pushed, and all the other IDs that Salesforce needs. So yeah, we covered coaching, we covered uh, having your own CRM automation, and this is not just for meeting notes. By the way, you can have custom fields. For example, I can have a question in Salesforce which says, "Okay, I need a certain question to be answered." So let me show you how you can do that. So instead of create a note, let me see what all it offers in Salesforce. It can even automate creating contacts. I can create any kind of update record. So for example, I can update a custom record, uh, like child records. So if I create a child record called client deal amount, right? So I want to know whether this client is going to pay me $10,000 or $100,000 or something which is discussed in the meeting, but I don't need to go and type it out. It will be extracted by ChatGPT from the transcript of the meeting and pushed back into the CRM as a custom output. I don't have to go and type uh, that part in Salesforce. I hope this was helpful. The CRM update. If so, a few more pointers here. If you are looking at sending this data right after every call, there are options available in Zapier, but they're slightly more technical. So keeping in mind that today we have a audience which is mostly from the sales background, I want to focus on how to just use ChatGPT rather than anything. And Srini will cover at the end on how you can do this automated even without having any technology knowledge through other tools. And we can look at how that works. So we'll try to build one more automation today, if since it seems we have we have more time today, so we can go and set up an integration to get files from Google Drive. So let's see if all this transcript that I uploaded manually, can it be got automatically? Because Google Meets and Zoom and all the platforms, including Teams, for example, even OneDrive, they have an option where you can import data which are, yeah, OneDrive also has find a file, or you can find stuff which you have in your OneDrive and get it right here. So in my case, I want to get Google Drive events. I can retrieve files from Google Drive. So it comes with a bunch of options. It seems I have an active connection. I'll click refresh just in case it's not connected. It asks me for drive ID. So instead of AI having to guess the field, I know what my drive ID is. I can say my Google Drive so that it searches only in that particular folder scope. I don't need anything else actually. I can just enable this action. So yeah, I have done this before. Now you have two of these actions. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Now,
Sai, to your question, yes, you'll get the recording of the presentation at the end. And some of the other questions we'll handle at the very end. I don't want to interrupt at the towards, I mean, in the middle. We'll have to handle all questions towards the end.
yeah,
Yes,
of course.
hello.
I mean,
Continue.
we'll be glad to take all your questions one by one to do justice. So this is what I have set up. Uh, this fetches your transcripts from Meet recording folder. So this is actually very interesting. Meet recording is a folder that Google Meets creates for me, and it stores all my meetings in that. It stores the transcripts. It also stores the meeting recording file. Unfortunately, ChatGPT cannot transcribe through this interface. So you'll have to provide the transcripts directly to ChatGPT from your Google Drive. And how do you do that? You don't need to worry because all the meeting platforms provide that functionality. They let you have a transcript file right after the meeting is recorded, along with the other recording files. So let's say you might have a subtitle file, a VTP file, but yeah, they create a folder in my drive called Meet Recording. So that's why this is there. And please ignore this thing which starts with hash. This is something that Zapier provides you. And only thing that you need to look at is fetch latest meeting transcript, because that's what I wanted to do. So if I have a meeting transcript, I can just say, okay, can you just fetch it? And hopefully, if there is something, it will start fetching that from. Okay, so it says that I have set up multiple actions and it cannot do it. So let me just ask it to redo the connection because I have connected multiple times. So I'll go back to Zapier, make sure that my Google Drive is connected, and I don't have a drive ID, so maybe I'll have AI guess this value. Probably because my drive doesn't have a lot of files, because of which it's not able to retrieve it in real time. So now we can go back to ChatGPT and say, start the action. So what it is trying to do, it is trying to get name containing meet recordings and retrieve the latest transcripts. While it gets the output, uh, let me just showcase some of the output that I had got previously. So if I say that get the latest meeting file, it got this particular transcript file. It lets me open it, or I can just summarize the meeting. So, I didn't have to upload the transcript. Like if you notice, I was uploading it from my computer, but this time it got it from my Google Drive. And it just summarized the entire meeting for me because I just said summarize it. That's what it does. And I can even push it to the CRM. You can have two actions in the same GPT as long as your Zapier account is the same account. So since my Zapier account has two actions, it not only me uh, lets me fetch meetings from my Google Drive, it summarizes it. Now it can even push it to the CRM, right? And so that's like an entire flow for 1 hour for any sales rep today. And most of it is easy to automate, as I showed you. So now we can move on to some of the use cases that that you can do. So just a recap, these are the prerequisites. You need a ChatGPT Plus account, and Zapier is free. You can just register with your email ID. What are the advantages of this? If I had to do all of the things that I showed you in the last 20 minutes, it will probably take you, if you had to do it manually, like you had to get a recording, transcribe it, uh, you know, fetch all the summaries, or probably write the summaries yourself through your own notes, uh, then type in your CRM, log into your CRM, type all the notes, go to the right record, and make sure that everything is correct. You might have oversight, you might be tired. So a lot of the stuff that it reduces your time is very helpful for sales reps. You can use that time to sell better. uh, but it is not without its flaws. One of the major flaws is you have to do this after every meeting, and you have to come back to ChatGPT to do it, because that's the only way this is set up to do. You keep in mind that you can automate it in Zapier. You can go to Zapier and have Zapier do this regularly or periodically based on your own settings. So it takes some time, it takes some skill, and it is definitely not recommended if you want to have uh, have a larger team working on this problem, right? So I'll probably hand over to Srini to talk more about how a larger team should actually use a workflow like this. They should definitely use these workflows, but they should not probably use ChatGPT for it. ChatGPT is something that you can start with. As you scale, you need a different solution. So over to you, Sri.
Thanks a lot, Alok. Pretty absorbing and pretty insightful. Uh, Guys, you learned about how you can, automate a few tasks at a very micro level, right? But what I want to actually concentrate on right now is the second half of the previous slide, which talked about the disadvantages of doing this at a micro level, right? There was context switching, there was security, there was scale, most importantly. Then prompt engineering, doing it repetitively is not the most productive thing in your life, right? Come on, we are trying to improve your productivity here. And then, you need a lot of integrations. What Alok just showed you is at a micro level, right? Just with Zapier and OpenAI, how things can be done, and maybe with Gmail, right? But once you start scaling this up, it'll really blow up on your face if you can't actually do it at scale. Now, how do we do all of this, and how do we achieve this and more at scale, right? That is where basically a tool like Good Meetings comes in, right? Now, for all the use cases that Alok has actually shown you, right, what I'll try to do in the second half of this session is show how this can be done at scale, right? For the uninitiated, for the unversed, Good Meetings is basically a platform that helps analyze all your sales conversations and gives you really useful insights, right? Some of the insights that Alok spoke about at the first half of the session, right? Now, if you have to do it at scale, you just have to create a free account on Good Meetings, and then uh, let me just share my screen, right? I hope you guys are able to see my screen. Awesome, right? First thing that we do is whether it is an audio sales call or a video sales call, and regardless of the scale, we work with some of the biggest sales companies in the world that do, hundreds and thousands of, sales calls every day. First things first, all your calls come up and get laid out in a neat library like this, right? All your conversations are neatly laid out and indexed in a library like this. Then what we do is we basically, kind of show you all your client meetings in a neatly laid out fashion here, right? Which, along with a probability score, which is basically an overall score which shows the propensity of the deal or the lead to convert. So this is just a real, kind of display of the overall score that, some of the clients we are working with have got. And let's take one example. Let's take the example of Pixie. The overall score is 40, right? If I click here, what Good Meetings does is it shows you all the calls that have happened with Pixie till date. You can see that there are 3 calls that have happened with Pixie till date. And, there is a natural gradation here, right? It has started with a very good call. So you can see the score 65 here. And then there is a gradual movement and things have gone downhill. So the overall score, sales probability score, cumulative of all the calls, stands at 40%. Now, what we do is not just give you the score, but we also give you the reasons for sales failure as well as the areas of improvement. All of this without you putting in any effort, right? Just basically exposing your sales conversations to us, and we do the integration, we do the plumbing. We can pick those conversations either from your CRM, or we can actually kind of join as an agent into your video calls and record the conversation, so you're even relieved from recording those conversations, right? We also give you something like, which is like an overall pitch score, which shows you how well your sales rep has performed or your sales reps have performed across all the calls, right? And these are all parameters basically rating the sales rep for that particular lead or for that particular deal. These parameters can be configured by you, and in a moment I'll show you how you can configure it for your own needs. What we also give you is something called auto capture or auto fill, where basis the conversation and basis the exact needs that you have with regards to filling a CRM from the conversations, we will extract the useful information from those conversations against that particular lead ID or that particular deal ID and push it back to the CRM. Everything is automated. You do what you do best, which is selling your product in those conversations. Everything else is taken care of by us, right? Great. What I showed you is basically at a client level, at a deal level, or lead level. Let's go deeper here, right? Let's take one of the calls, right? Let's take this call. Now, what we also do is give you all the details at a conversation level, right? Let's start with the summary. For every call, you get a standard summary along with the action items, where we not only tell you what are the next steps, but also whom it is assigned to. And this also gets pushed to your CRM. You get the overall transcripts of the call where you can search through specific keywords. And we support multiple languages on the same call, including vernacular Indian languages as well as, other languages, European languages, like Portuguese, Spanish, English, etc. We also give you a pitch report, which tells you how well the sales rep performed on that particular call, right? You can see that, these are the different parameters on which we rate ourselves and our sales reps, right? Now, for every parameter, we tell you how well the sales rep performed on that parameter and what were the areas of improvement, right? And all these parameters that you see here, these are easily configurable. You can just go here, you can click on modify, and you can go and type your own parameters. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as writing a Word document. And you can go as detailed and as in depth as possible, or you can be, as superficial or as crisp as possible. Remember, the more information you give, the sharper and the more efficient the solution or the final output is. Okay, we spoke about summaries, we spoke about transcripts, we spoke about the pitch report. We also give you the client report. We had spoken about that, right? Then we give you something called a meeting report, right? A meeting report is basically your customized, your templatized minutes of the meeting, right? You have the various, you can decide what you want from the meeting as your own summary, right? For example, we want to know, what are the queries put forward by the client? What are the next steps? What is the agenda for the next meeting? When is the follow up for the next call done? Right? All very sales specific. And it again is as simple as just going here and writing what you want. And boom, you're ready. What we what we also give you is basically an autofill or auto capture for that particular call. Typically useful for qualifying leads, for basically, kind of inputting critical information about a lead or a deal in a CRM, right? You just go, you type the relevant information, and that gets captured and gets pushed into the CRM. No more do you have to rely on your sales rep to update the CRM. I know all of us hate that, right? This ensures that your CRM is absolutely, kind of populated with the right information 100% of the time. There is no lack of efficiency, no relying on humans, no chance of manual error, no chance of human bias, right? What we also give you are key moments which are culled out of the call and arranged in a neat chronological order, right? Take this example. It's close to a 30-minute call. Now, as a sales leader myself, I don't have time to go through all the 30 minutes, but I do want to know what happened in the call. So I can quickly browse through these key moments, right? Which are auto-titled with a summary of their own. And I can actually go through these moments and understand what happened and jump to the key moment, right? So we also give you a quick, as I told you, a summary of each moment here, and you can also collaborate with your team, right? And finally, we also give you speaker tracks which showed you how the call actually flowed and progressed. What is basically, the talk to listen ratio, when was the longest monologue done, so on and so forth, right? I can't crunch everything in the 10, 20, 25 minutes that I have, but my whole idea was to give you a sneak peek of how you can use something like ChatGPT at scale, improve the efficiency and productivity of not just yourself, but your entire team. We have seen teams improving, their productivity by over 30% and their revenues increasing by over 50% by using such tools like Good Meetings. So in case you're interested, do give us a shout and we will definitely be able to help you out. There are some questions that we have received, I guess.
Yes, the team is answering them on LinkedIn, but
Yeah.
I'll just put up some of these
Yeah.
on the.
Does Good Meetings allow for customized reminders? For example, revert after 4 days? Well, that's a good feature request, Vibhas. We are building something of this sort that should be rolled out in a few weeks from now.
Yeah, customized emails are available.
Yes, available. Is Good Meetings platform free currently? It is free for a certain period in time. Get a flavor of the platform, right? And once you basically, kind of start loving it, I'm sure you will actually, get addicted to the platform like all of us are in the team.
Okay. one of the questions isn't showing up, but I think Rajastri did answer. The answer was it is about multi-language support. So that is something that you can
Yes,
just address.
we support multiple languages on the same call. And if the kind of indication of whether we support English and Arabic conversation on the same call, we absolutely do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, the recording will be shared, Karan. So if it was addressed, it will be there.
Yeah. So the OpenAI Zapier integration is what Karan is asking about, whether that can be shown again. Of course, I mean, in the interest of time, we will not want to show that again, but we can definitely look at it in the recording. Yeah, you can use ChatGPT to run through emails, Ravneet, and extract data and leads with contact number, email IDs. So that is possible through Zapier Actions. I can even, just like you can send an email, you can read emails from Zapier and put a query. That query can come directly from the ChatGPT interface, or like I was showing you earlier. Let me just share my screen so that you are clear of that. So I hope my screen is visible, or it should come up in some time. So I can say add a new action, and you know you have to say Gmail, find email, right? So once you have connected, this can come again. I mean, you can connect your own, and this is the search string. So all you have to do is have AI guess a value for this field and enable this action, right? So now we have Gmail, find an email. So we can actually go to one of our custom GPTs, like which we had set up earlier, and ask it to you know, just instead of sending a email, it can read it. Uh, so let me go to configuration for the follow-up email setup. So it says action is send email. So instead of that, I can say something like you know, search for leads, and I can define what that means. It can mean a lot of things, but we keep it simple for now. And you can start asking the question: find the unique email IDs from Gmail. Which is obviously a very vast question. I don't think that's something that you should ask, but just to demo. So it's saying, okay, where do you want to search it from? So I can say particular sender.
We do have a question from Akash. Srini, you want to
Okay.
take this or?
Yeah, I think what are the very different key different features apart from any note taker, copilot, etc. I could assess that it gives you sales call specific scores and customizable summary fields. Any other functions? That is sales call specific scores, but that is at two levels. One is at a level of whether this how the well the sales rep performed, and then that is a lead score which helps you with lead filtration, which tells you how well the lead actually is interested. How interested the lead is with regards to taking your product, that none of the note taker products provide. The second is deep integration with the CRM. You don't have to fill the CRM. You can decide what you want from the conversations. They get auto captured and pushed to the CRM. The third is, all our models are very, very sales heavy. So, the kind of results that we give is really close to the truth as a part to a horizontal player like a note, like any note taker or copilot, right? And most importantly, there are many nuances with regards to one supporting multiple languages on same call. Now that's a very sales specific thing, right? a sales guy will speak on a language that he feels the lead would understand, right? Second is, almost we have realized that one of the biggest advantages that we can provide is the quality of transcripts and the quality of insights. And that comes from the fact that we do accent sensing, and basis your accent, we route the call to the right provider. Now, this call itself has three people, right? All three of us have different English accents, right? Now, most providers at the backend will just use one model, because of which, most transcripts that they get is, kind of very irrelevant and not useful. But we use multiple models depending upon your voice and your accent, and then we stitch everything together. So a word error rate, which is basically the, I would say, the global unit on which the quality of transcripts is measured, is less than 2%, right? But for any other player it would be more than 10%. Do
Yep.
you ensure data security and encryption so that crucial sales discussions are not leaked out? Absolutely. Any kind of compliance you can think of is there at our level, right? We work with some of the top, enterprises which have really sensitive data in edtech, in fintech, in insurance, in IT services, and also some legal firms use us. So we've actually kind of surpassed or cleared all the levels of security that you can think of.
So the data security and the encryption at rest and in transit, both are taken care of. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, as well as ISO 27001 and GDPR. So we have a continuous compliance in place.
Amar Al Hamdini asks if we support Arabic. Absolutely, sir. Arabic is supported. Does Good Meetings have a virtual AI assistant for my video conference? Absolutely, it does, Rajshri. Whether it is video call or audio call, we have your back.
Yeah, and that is something that we call as the AI agent. It can assist you even during the call, apart from all the post-meeting calls that we just saw.
Okay. Do you want to quickly go through some of these?
These are some
Let's
of
just
the,
summarize.
these are some of the quick snapshots of the product, right? So that you can get a deeper understanding, during this call itself. As I told you, we give you sales call transcripts, we give you the pitch report, right? We give you a client report, a meeting report, auto capturing of information, right? Anything and everything that you want from a sales call analysis perspective, you have it in your fingertips. Absolutely. Yeah. Everything, right? Follow up, email, CRM automation, and we support almost all the CRMs of the world, be it HubSpot, be it Salesforce, be it Lead Squad, be it Zoho, be it Fresh Sales, be it Pipedrive.
Sure. I think we have pretty much answered most
Yes, I think we
questions.
have pretty much answered all the questions.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for this session and the opportunity for us to present. If you would like to get in touch, please get in touch at the email ID here, or you can even personally mail me and Srini. It's Srinivasan SRINI.
SRINIVASAN. So Srinivasan at
At,
goodmeetings.ai.
yeah, and ALOK at goodmeetings. Thank you for your time. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed the session. Cheers.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.